Goal by number 10, Kat Krambeer.
She was a once-in-a-generation talent for a local soccer program. 2003 Osseo High School graduate Katherine Krambeer joins our Hall of Fame. It was a 6-year run for Kat Krambeer as a high school soccer player. The future All-State midfielder made an impact in the first week of tryouts as a 7th grader in the fall of 1997.
Surprised me, I remember turning to a coach going, "Who's this girl over here?" We looked at her and looked at the chart and said, "It says 7th grade, can't be right." We went over and asked her and she said, "Yep, I'm in 7th grade." And we're like, wow. I mean, she was already one of the top 10 players out there.
I think I was like 5 feet tall, maybe like 100 pounds, maybe. Probably like 90. I mean, the uniform like swallowed me up. And the senior captains, they were so sweet to me. I mean, so sweet to me. And just took me under their wing and showed me the ropes and were really encouraging.
She gets a piece of it, and Krambeer there to knock it in. By 8th grade, Kat was a regular fixture in the Osseo starting lineup and stayed that way for 5 seasons. She was a 3-time first-team All-State player and remains the school's all-time leading scorer with 135 points.
She was definitely the best player I've ever coached, no question. Aside from all the skills, I think it was all those intangible things that a coach looks for, the hustle, the effort, the attitude. She had all of that even as a 7th grader. I mean, she had the ability to score from anywhere on the field. She had the poise that a lot of players don't have, but she was able to take that and slow the game down to a level where it was just easy for her, it seemed like. She was just fun to watch.
The Orioles won the Northwest Suburban Conference in each of Kat's 2 final seasons at Osseo and lost just 5 games overall.
In regulation,
the Orioles fell short of state both years, losing to perennial power Wayzata in the section final each time. But 9 years later, there are no regrets.
It was such a good experience because I think about just the players we had and the team that we had, and for us to take the team that far was such an accomplishment.
Her skills as a prep player earned Kat many accolades, including the title of Miss Soccer in Minnesota in the fall of 2002.
I mean, that award could have been given to so many individuals, and so I was shocked when I got that information, but so honored, and it was so humbling and just an amazing experience.
College soccer coaches knew about Kat too, and she had offers from some of the best schools in the country. A high honor roll student, Kat visited Stanford and UCLA, among others. She finally settled on Texas A&M.
When you're like 17, or 16, that's kind of daunting. And so A&M was my very last visit, and I was just so sick of traveling. And I stepped on campus, and everyone I met, they were the nicest people I'd ever met in the entire world. And it was just fun and so full of tradition and so different than any other school I had visited. And I just knew I was supposed to go there.
Kat lettered 4 years for the Aggies, a nationally ranked team in each of her seasons there. Twice A&M won the Big 12 Conference Tournament. But as a college athlete, she finally started to see life after soccer.
And that it was so good because it was so fun, but I had so many other opportunities while at A&M to advance in my career and grad school and all of that stuff, that it was a great balance where I had the support system through the athletic department to pursue my academic goals.
Twice named to the Big 12 All-Academic Team, Kat graduated in 2007 with a degree in finance, but she studied pre-med with her goal of becoming a doctor. After taking a year off from school, the newly married Catherine Lusk entered med school in the fall of 2008 at the University of Texas Health Science Center in Houston.
It's amazing. It's in the world's largest medical center, and it's just smack dab in the middle of it. So we get to see patients from all over and get exposed to a lot of things that that you just wouldn't see in just in your textbooks, but you really wouldn't have the opportunity to see in patients you wouldn't have the opportunity to care for if you weren't there.
And we couldn't resist asking this upper Midwest born and bred woman on her new accent, which is definitely not Minnesotan.
When I went down, my roommates freshman year, they were relentless in teasing me about my northern accent. I mean, every other word that came out of my mouth, they would tease me about it and they would repeat it. And so I think just like over time, after getting teased so much, I just kind of adapted a little bit of a southern twang.
Kat will graduate medical school next spring At which time she admits she will probably also graduate to Catherine instead of Kat. She doesn't rule out a return to soccer sometime in the future as a coach or even a rec player. But no matter what, Kat Krambeer's legacy back at Osseo is secure.
When you have a player of her caliber and you see people talking about when she won Miss Soccer, it gets a lot of recognition for Osseo, and you get our numbers were better and better every year. I mean, we went from being 40 kids trying out my first year to almost 100 in the final year. So I think it's definitely a lot to do with her and on her legacy.